And we're back. Episode 42, Cross ExAnime.
Welcome.
Fuck you. It's been a long week.
Yes.
We're sorry that the last video. So technically, when you watch this will be episode 42. It's coming. Everything's been coming out late. It's been hectic. We were trying.
We went to a convention.
We went to Anime Iowa.
And we'll talk about that on the next episode, which we've
we're
already been, but we didn't have time to record this
Justus,
episode.
how do you think AI is going to go? I think we're going to have a wonderful time. I think we're going to leave early on Sunday.
I think some people are going to snore way too fucking loudly. I don't know why.
Man, you don't sound salty about that at all.
No, I'm only going to get my own room next time. I think I'll sleep better.
You say that till it's like $500.
You mean $500 and a good night's sleep? Sounds like pretty good money to me.
You know what we should do next time? No, we'll talk about that in the next pod. Yeah, next podcast. Because next podcast will be a special. This week we were talking about the B tier list, or not B tier. I say that it's the B list because A list we have a B list. B list this week is Tokyo Revengers, which is continuing from last season. It's still one whole season.
Yeah.
Kobayashi, Dragon Maid. Slime, which is what Justus talked about, and that's season 2, part 2, right?
Yes.
And then Girlfriend. And to be fair, on Girlfriend, we both only saw 2 episodes because we didn't do our homework too well, but we had a lot to watch when we came back.
Look, we had a lot to watch. Also, man, that show's real cringe, and I personally could only get through the first 2 episodes before I was like, I have to take a break.
Yeah. And then Battle Game in 5 seconds. We watched all of those minus Girlfriend. Again, we only saw 2 episodes, so hopefully next time we'll have to like make up for that or maybe drop it for something else. And I don't know. To be determined.
And if there are new episodes, we're only going up to episode like 4, but Battle Game in 5 seconds only had 3 episodes when I watched it last night.
Each of these we're only going to episode 4, which Tokyo Revengers only had 4. Kobayashi had 4 exact. Slime, I don't know because that's all you. Sorry, audience, you have to. There's something on it.
Yeah, it's roughly 3 or 4.
Girlfriend, I think is on episode 5.
Yeah.
And then Battle Game in 5 seconds is 4 episodes. So everything's 4 minus 1. There's some shows that are weird. They only had a few. But Tokyo Revengers.
Everything's crazy.
Okay, so when they started the first episode of this part 2, they really made it look like Takemichi was the leader of Division 3. And they're like, here's the new leader of Division 3. And I'm like, wait, I thought we just picked a Division 3 leader.
Yeah, I already had the assumption that Kisaki Teta was going to be the head. He's kind of... They did that super annoying thing where in the opening and in the endings, I think specifically it's in the opening, you see Kisaki wearing Tomen uniform, and it's like, oh, he's probably going to like be Division 3 head. So, of course, the OP is slightly spoilery.
I have beef real quick with the name. So, like, their name is like the Mahjong Gang or whatever. The Tokyo Mahjong Gang.
Manji.
Manji Gang.
Jeez.
Listen, we had this conversation before. But then, like, when they say the abbreviation, Tomen. Well, sometimes I've heard them say Toma. Sometimes I've heard them say Tome. And I'm like, do they not know what they're doing? I mean... Whatever, I think it's the character. Yeah,
slang also, anyways. So
because they're trying to do that like gangster kind of biker gang accent. So this is episode 14 to be exact, is where we're starting on there. I want to point out that Draken's on death row.
Yes,
and it keeps throwing me out. And now he's full on bald. Also, that tattoo grew on him like perfectly, considering he got it when he was 12.
Yeah,
and now he's like 20 something. I think he's 26 because he's supposed to be 1 year older than Takemichi. But dude, that fucking tattoo is perfect. And every time I watch him, like that tattoo would never fucking do that at 12 all the way to. Because he was big when he started, but it grew like. To be fair, it's animated perfect. It should have been. It would have been cool touch if they would have had it like.
Yeah, some tattoos grow pretty well, especially how they're done. If it's proportioned well, it can size well as well. It all depends. I know technically he hadn't gotten that much bigger, especially by the time we're introduced to him. So there's not going to be much of a difference from the younger self to the older self. Realistically, the only thing that would like truly change is the fading, unless you got it touched up.
So continuing in it, you know what my favorite part of episode 14 though was? Can you guess?
No.
It's when after Takemichi punches Kisaki
Yeah.
because he's mad about it. That's not my favorite part. My favorite part is later when he's like, face or gut. And he's like, oh. And he's like, oh, it'll hurt worse if it's your face. He says, I recommend face. And then Takemichi says gut, tenses up his gut, which is immediately Kisaki punches him in the face. And he's like, see, you tensed up your gut, fucking idiot. So walks away. That's after he got his ass kicked by Baji.
Yeah.
I think is how they say his name. I'm getting better, but at Tokyo Revengers. Thank you. Dude, the character design is actually pretty cool when they introduce Kazutora. But I think they call him Kazu for short. Or at least Mikey does. But Takemichi calls pretty much everyone by their full name, which is still kind of a sign of respect.
Mm-hmm.
But dude, his tattoo is fucking cool as fuck. When they first introduced him, at first when they introduced him, I thought he was the head of Valhalla. That's who I thought he was in a younger self, but they're two separate people.
Yeah, I recognized him instantly because Baji leaves Tomen and goes to Valhalla. That was like the big secondary thing that happened during
I do like that biker name.
Promotion into the
Baji
game.
kicks the fucking shit out of his vice commander.
Yes.
All to spoiler, as everything is, to get into Valhalla to find out info. Because they're all trying to feel like get revenge on Kazu. Because you find out later in episode, what's the number? 17?
Mm-hmm.
You find out how his brother dies. Like when you first see him, you're like, oh, that's Mikey's brother. And immediately just fucking like
whack
bolt cutters, fucking whacks him in the head. I'm like, oh man, there's no way that dude was going to fucking survive that.
Mm-hmm.
Because they're trying to get a bike for Mikey.
Yeah,
which is super sad because I was a little emotional about that. I'm like, they're trying to do something nice for Mikey. Like Kazu really liked Mikey and was trying to commit like a pretty big felony.
Yeah, I think yes, it's sad. Also, the dude's crazy. It's like the level of rationale to go from like, oh, like Mikey would be happy about this. You accidentally kill his brother, and it's like it's all Mikey's fault. And it's like, I should kill Mikey.
To be
it's
fair,
like, okay.
Well, the thing is, you're like a 12-year-old that, because he was 12 at the time, kills someone while trying to rob a store.
Yeah, it's just the level of reasoning.
The level of thought they put into breaking into that store. Like, let me tape over the window and punch him. Like, wow, someone on their staff is a criminal.
I mean, it is a biker gang.
Yeah.
But,
no, but I actually looked up the bike to see what the price is. So Mikey's bike is a CMB, or no, it's like a CM250, and then the CMB is like the actual bike. Because there's a scene where they're all on actual bikes, found as Mikey's on a fucking moped.
Yeah.
Which is hilarious because then he runs out of gas. Which is kind of how this whole thing kind of spirals into Mikey's backstory. Because they spent 2 episodes on the backstory of how Mikey knows Baji and then Kazu. Because the original Tomen was 6 people founded it, but then Mikey says only 5. Then conveniently finds a photo of whoever. I assume
Baji dropped it.
Well, not Baji. I think Takashi dropped it because Takashi was hiding, and Mikey never has that on him. I assume Takashi dropped it to try and help him. That's kind of my thought process. But it was pretty cool because then they try and steal a bike for Mikey as a gift, which is the CMB 250T, which is a Honda bike. And I was looking up MSRP at the time. Like, to be fair, they were stealing a tricked out one, but still getting a non-tricked out one. It was only $3,100 when it came out.
Yeah.
Granted, that was 2003, so it's probably like a $6,000 bike.
Also, they were like young teenagers. Like, who has like $3,000 when you're like 14 or 15?
If you're going to commit a crime kind of like that, it's like,
for them, it's like a good middle ground.
Yeah.
Like, it's a couple grand. It is Grand Theft Auto. It's
also, I looked up. Well, speaking of bikes, fucking loud ass.
Thank you.
What's up, Toman?
Yeah.
No, but I have no idea how to tell how long we've been talking about it. Oh well, might be long. But I was looking up other stuff because I was real interested. Because I was like, oh, did they just make up a name? I was like, oh shit, that was a legit thing. Then I looked up because Kazu only spent 2 years in jail for murder.
Yeah, there's a
I looked it up. Apparently, it happens a lot with children.
yeah, in Japan there's a delinquent clause that if you're under like a specific age, your mental capacity and the actions in which you do, like you're not fully held accountable compared to if he was like 18 or 19 and committed that, then he would probably be put on death row.
So I was like, there's no way this would happen because here you can, I mean, as a kid, you won't be death row, but here it'd be like, you know, like who are those two girls that murdered their other friend because they said Slenderman did? They got what, like 15 years each?
Yeah.
But there,
I think it depends on the situation because, like, that was intentional, murder compared to, like, a robbing gone bad that, like, didn't, was more manslaughter and...
No, he purposely hit him with that shit. No, but besides the point, I was just looking up, like, there's no way he'd only get 2 years because I'm thinking in American terms. I was like, holy shit, there's a lot of kids that have committed murder at age, like, 11 or 13 and only spent, like, 2 years seems to be the minimum because they have a whole like doctor checkups. They do a whole test to see if you're willing to go back into society. And there's a lot of kids that do like only 2 to 6 years. That's like when you turn 18, you get out. Now, granted, I'm not very well versed in Japanese culture, but if you're a felon in Japanese culture and you don't have a high school diploma, you're not getting a lot of jobs. So going back into a biker gang makes sense for his character. So they're well thought out characters.
Yeah.
Also the new guy they meet, Matsuno.
Yeah.
They gave him a nickname.
Chifu is how you pronounce it.
Chifu. Yeah, thank you. But he gives him a nickname in the show. I think it's just Chifu or
I don't
Shifu. Know. Kung Fu Panda reference.
But
nope, besides that,
apparently he's a super cool character, by the way. Like
he got his ass kicked the next day. He's like, "Yo, what's up?"
Yeah. I think that's the one thing that's slightly annoying with Takemichi is you just have those moments where it's like,
do something.
Not even that. It's like, remember things. You watch this man get his ass whooped yesterday. The fucking Kastura, you see there's a picture that you looked at. Yes, they're young, but there's a giant fucking neck tattoo.
Yeah.
It's like, remember the things you see. Why does everyone else have to like spell some of those stuff out for you?
You see someone with a fucking tattoo like that on their neck, you're gonna remember them.
So yeah, it's just a couple of moments like that where it's like, bruh, if you like had some ADHD medication, like everything would be solved way quicker. I get that you're under a lot of pressure and stuff, but fuck, like retain something. No wonder you were shit in school and became like a DVD salesman.
Yeah. Shout out to the DVD salesman. That's about it. Now, the thing is, the next episode's going to get or the next couple, because they talk about, what is it? Bloody Halloween is what it is. And it's like, yeah, it's a day Mikey went to fucking murdered a dude. It's like,
yeah, murdered Kastura.
Yeah. So it's like, that'll be interesting to see. I feel like it will turn out where Takemichi stops him. Because that's in the opening trailer. You see them walking with that same background.
There is like the big thing real quick and then we'll move on. Yeah. Where it turns out, because Takemichi goes back into the present and talks to Draken again on death row. And Draken's like, oh, the headless, leader, because that's the big thing for Valhalla. Like,
their jackets are cool as fuck.
Yeah. It turns out, it's actually Mikey. Like he set up this whole thing, the way it sounds is Mikey created Valhalla to get Kastura to join to eventually like get revenge on his brother. Because
they mentioned Valhalla has a headless leader, which is why it's an angel with no head.
Yeah, because Takemichi initially, and like it's a very strong assumption, and it makes sense that it would actually turn out to be Kisaki, because Kisaki was the one who basically pulled all the strings for Morpheus or Mobius. Back when like they were being found, huh?
I said red or blue.
Yeah. And did all of that, and the actual leader of Mobius is basically like absolutely in fear, like openly admitted that he set up to try to kill Draken, like all of the stuff, and it's like the Haji
Sorry.
the dude with the 2 hand tattoos, and
Yeah, I
is
don't think he's on this
currently
one.
like
Yeah.
the head of and face of Valhalla.
Acting head of Valhalla.
Yeah, is like good friends with Kisaki, and like there's that entire like rapport there. So it's like one of those weird things where I feel like there's the situation where both instances are true. Mikey started Valhalla to try to get revenge on his brother because he knew that eventually like Kisaki would join a group because it's already a lifestyle you're used to. It's easy to go to that stuff. And then Kisaki in the background is actually pulling more of the strings, similar to how in the future timeline, Tomen is basically just ran by Kisaki anyways. So,
the last thing I got to say is every time Takemichi goes back in time, it just gets more and more fucked up.
yes.
It went from girlfriend dead, stop this guy to, oh my God, fucking ReZero timeline.
Yeah.
No, but the second show we were watching this season, Kobayashi's Dragon Maid, which, God, it's so sad to watch. Like what was it? I even wrote it down. Hang on, let me pull it up. I do want to say it's season 2, episode 1 through 4 is what we talked about. Also, Kana is so fucking adorable. Remember the Maid Cafe episode where literally there was an episode where they were at a Maid Cafe.
First episode.
Is that first episode?
Yeah.
Yeah. First episode. Yeah, because I wrote Kana's so fucking cute. To be fair, I wrote that like 8 times because it kept getting like more and more adorable. But they're at a Maid Cafe. There's a case down there, Stone Kick.
I've noticed.
Yeah, it just had to go there. Besides that, they're at the cafe. Kana's sitting at her table, and like a maid drops off like her drink with a little like umbrella in it. Maid's like, magic spell, make delicious. And Kana's drink, she's like, so good. And I'm like, oh my God, it fucking melts me, dude. It fucking melts your heart watching how adorable Kana is. Because Kana's still like the biggest secondary character in the show, because obviously Kobayashi and Toru. I just realized I keep spelling her name wrong. I do it Tohru when it's Tooru. Besides that, but Toru and Kobayashi are your 2 biggest characters, and Kana used to be the biggest secondary character. Now your biggest secondary character is Ilulu.
Yeah.
Ilulu, or it's pronounced something kind of like that. Also, they do explain why her body portions are out of this world, because everyone bitched about it. I saw on Reddit for the first episode, like, so unrealistic. It's like, listen, it's a dragon body into a human form, and that's why she still has hands and feet, which is just an excuse for giant tits. But it's like, if she gets any smaller, her boobs are gonna get bigger. Which leads me to the funniest part so far is Kobayashi's like, man, can you just give me 5% of that?
Yeah, there's been really good quips in the show.
Kobayashi, flat.
I also have enjoyed, like, it's kind of nice. Some of the more like humble stuff in that show, like the quips are always good. They're fairly funny, but like, for me, one of the funniest bits is
Ilu?
Yeah, Ilulu.
Guess who's correcting who now?
Shut up.
Sorry, I forgot to check what time we started this on.
Yeah, it's fine. She turns Kobayashi into
a
man.
Oh my God, that was fucking hilarious, dude.
Yeah. So
that was first episode too. That was the end of it, wasn't it?
She turns at the very end, but all of episode 2, or at least that first like scene section before they do the transition into like a different scene, is just the focus on like the fact that she is a man, and it's like waking up and like Kana's in bed and it's like, or
Kobayashi is naked. She's like, huh.
Yeah.
I got beef with that. Like they literally throw like men under the bus. It's like, oh,
horny.
Yeah. No, the best part was before she turns into a man, when Lulu shows up, it's like, why do you hang out with Kobayashi so much? She makes you horny. Kobayashi's like, no, what the fuck? It was hilarious when Kobayashi finds out she's had a dick, and then she like fucking literally roofies her, and she's like, we're gonna make so many fucking babies.
Right.
God. Also, Lulu shoots like fire from her tits.
No, that's just where the power comes from.
Listen, man. I do kind of like her not tip, but her like character design face wise, it is like some of these other characters like Rico and Shota, they have a like if you were to switch hair, they'd have a very similar face. Even like some of the other people kind of have similar eyes and face, but that's still kind of off the original.
Yeah.
At least hers is more of an original.
I mean, for the most part, all of the dragons specifically are super unique, and then most of the human ones look kind of meh.
Also, not Kobayashi, Toru taught everyone in the maid cafe dark magic.
Yeah.
And when Fafnir got it right, I practiced that today. Fafnir and Makoto. Listen, man. Fafnir and Makoto fucking go to the cafe and they're literally sitting there like, man, this food's going to be so good. And Fafnir is like, man, this is dark magic.
Yeah.
The other thing I wanted to, God, why can't I think of it? I looked this up because I noticed it and I've seen it in some other shows, but I've never seen them actually pull the pin. Apparently a security buzzer is a legit thing.
Oh yeah.
Like in the second episode where Kobayashi, like it's even in the opening where they have a picture of it and they
like Kana's holding it, right?
yeah, and Kana has one too on her bag, which is actually really adorable. And I was like, why isn't that really a thing here in the US? Now granted, you know, stranger, I don't know you, and then people will look. But still, that's a very cool thing because I went to go look one up because I was going to buy one as like a gift for like you and I. It'd be a cool thing on the set. Motherfuckers are expensive. There's like some high-end ones. It's like, yeah, plus 20 decibels. I'm like, that's a lot of shit. Like a 20 decibel one?
I mean, that's what it's meant for. It needs to get people's attention.
And they have like reusable ones. I'm like, I hope you never have to like use a reusable one. I see the, you know, idea of it. So, you know, if the pin accidentally gets pulled, because there's all different ones. There's like pin ones or flashlight combo ones. And it was like, that's a really cool thing. I didn't know what it was until Kobayashi was like, security buzzer, go, and throws it at the fucking dude. Also, that dude got his...
Yeah, that dragon dude that kind of is
dragon hunter. Yeah, they give you no details about him. I assume he'll show up.
He's also
later.
a dragon, by the way.
Yeah.
And
he was going to kill Lulu, and I just love Kobayashi and how nice she is, and how much she takes care of it. Also, it's pretty sad watching this too, because I had that moment like the last episode. I even wrote it down. Why can't I find it? I know, it was just kind of sad watching it because Kobayashi's like, oh, you know, we work together as a team. I care about my team. And then you're like, Kyoto Animation.
Yeah. Ilulu's backstory is also kind of sad, by the way, because they've shown some of the flashbacks and it's like she used to be friends with some of the kids. And it's very apparent that like her parents basically lied to her and like murdered everyone. And eventually there was enough backlash that they got murdered. And
yeah, it was a thing of, that's kind of a thing that happens in a lot of like, kind of seems like lore. It's whoever's perspective you're looking at. Because she gets real sad. It's like, Kobayashi, will you know, trick me one more time? It's like, because she's still a child, basically. She's the same as like Kana, like high functioning children because they're dragons. So
yeah. I think she's like,
she and Kana are the same age.
No, her and Toru are.
Oh, her and the Toru. That's right.
It's just Toru is much more adept and like skilled.
Yeah.
So,
also the animation is still very on point. Because at the end of episode 1, we can't read Japanese, but someone pointed out that in the Japanese still gave credit to like the director of the first season because he directed the first episode or he did the first writing of it, and then the whole thing happened. Also, I wrote that Monopoly still kills friendships.
Yeah.
Even
I thought it was kind of nice because there's the specific episode where like or section of an episode, I think it's 3. Where Toru's trying to figure out hobbies. And,
that's right. I forgot about that. Was
in the background.
Oh, no, you mean Lulu? Oh no, yeah.
It's
sorry,
Toru. Because she's like
Lulu was trying to figure out what Toru was doing. Is what I'm thinking of.
Because Toru like
she even wrote, "I'm a housewife at home that has a part-time job."
He's very good at guitar, wood carving. Like,
what if he's very good? She was like a fucking pro.
Yeah, and then she's like, maybe I'll be an idol. But on the TV is the original season 1 OP, and it was like, oh, it's so nice to hear it again. I'm glad they put it somewhere.
Someone did that on YouTube. They did the dance that they did there, which is pretty cool. I love how philosophical the fucking old dude was. It's like, you were playing it, but you were just playing the notes. And I was like, man, what kind of Your Lie in April shit is this? You had no heart.
Yeah.
There was a lot that happened, and it's been strong.
Mm.
This will probably be one of the top ones of the season. It's kind of hard to beat. It'll be.
It's super niche though, and it is a season 2, so like,
yeah,
I don't know. It might be right there in the middle. It's very good though.
Also, that girl, Elma, is bribed so easily with food.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
It's like, save the city, and I'll give you fucking like, what'd she say? Like, the Lex pudding. And she's like, the Lex pudding.
All right. Move on to that time I got reincarnated as a slime.
Yep, that's all you.
Yo, this one's gonna be easy. As
here you go, in case you need characters.
So anyways, literally like the last 3 episodes has just been diplomatic discussions. Like,
that's so fucking boring.
Literally, that's all.
There has to be something big coming up then if they're just doing diplomatic.
I mean, they're talking about like going to war with other demon lords and stuff.
Can I say something real quick? I forgot to mention something for Tokyo Revengers beach episode. Continue.
Yes. I mean, yeah,
it was a beach episode. You can't escape the beach episode. Continue.
Yeah, it's literally just been like a lot of diplomatic talking. You just have those moments where it's like, all right, so my plan is this, and then another leader from a different country kind of shows up, like the Dwarven King eventually shows up, and he's like, oh, I've came to help, and it's like, well, we're already done, and then someone else shows up, and it's like, I've came to help, and I have 6 men with me, and it's like, cool, well, we're already done. And that was a thing for like a moment. And then like eventually there's enough people that they have to move from like the main office to literally like an outdoor pagoda and like have the diplomatic conversation there. And it's like, oh, by the way, this is the, Dragon Vela. And it's like, you mean the one that was like sealed away? That's just the dude over there? Like, you want to like explain more? And there were pulled aside discussions between some of the like nation heads where it's like, you want to like explain because like things are getting weird. So yeah, there's been only discussion, and at one point there was like an onsen scene. That's like the last 3 episodes. They're gearing up for war. That's it. We can literally move on.
I was going to say...
I mean, the diplomatic talk is kind of cool, like seeing some of that stuff, but like really it's not a lot.
One suggestion I have for... The next thing we're going to talk about is girlfriend.
Mm-hmm.
We might switch it out for... Considering we've only watched 2 episodes of that, and this literally just started. It's 20 episodes. Oh, God, this is all in Japanese. Fuck me.
Nope, it's gonna be right there. The great
Jay will not be defeated. That literally just started.
I've seen a picture of her slapping a big tittied woman.
Yeah, that was one of the things. One of the things this season, it feels like it's like Slime's an 8.43.
Slime is an 8.3 for this season, and I literally just went off about 3 episodes of diplomatic discussions. Yeah. This is how fucking people are like. I mean, it's still a good show. I'm good. Yeah. I'm going to keep watching.
They give it an 8.4 for this season, part 2. But there's a lot of shows like we're watching a Battle Game in 5 seconds. That's like almost just a 7. And then like girlfriend is below a 7. And holy shit, does it not deserve anything above this?
I mean, yeah, it's...
Listen, the whole plot of the show is... let me pull it up because I remember how to pronounce her name. So Saki. Also, its name, her name is Saki. So...
Yeah, why not?
It's just fucking dumb. So Saki, that's our technical main girl that you're following. Because they make it start like you're watching Nao, they make it look like he's the main character, but Saki's really kind of the main character, but they kind of follow all 3 of the people. So Saki, Nagisa, and then Nao. It starts with him being confessed to, and he's like, I already have a girlfriend. Then they give you the background of Naoya is dating Saki, right hair girl, And they're talking about their whole kind of love relationship. He all throughout middle school was asking to go out with her, and finally she's like, yes. They're both happy, and then Nagisa offers to date him. She's like, please go out with me. And being the fucking dumbass he is, he's like, oh yeah, it should be fine. Yeah. You're so
I have
nice.
a girlfriend. Oh, it's fine, but I still want to date you. Would you be okay with like
who the fuck asked that shit? Like, I'm dating someone. Let's date a second person. And Saki, which keep in mind, you find out in episode 2, they haven't even kissed.
Mm-hmm.
You should have just dumped his ass. You're good enough looking that you could find a new boyfriend in maybe like 10 fucking seconds. That's why this show should be like a 5. It shouldn't even be a 6.59.
Yeah, it's
pretty
dumpster fire.
Yeah. The thing is, I think people like it because there's some tropey stuff in there and people love to hang on to it. Even the animation of their face, it looks like good animation, but it's okay animation. I mean, I've only been through 2 episodes, so I can't say much, but it's like, Jesus Christ. Like, Saki is okay with this. She's like, okay, we'll try it. And then, like, this dude's dating 2 girls. He's acting like he doesn't know what he's doing. And also, you know who he reminds me of? Ida. He's got very much the personality of Ida.
Yeah.
It's such a
personally
fucking...
like so far the only thing that I like about the show is Saki's voice actress. Because she plays
Sakura.
Yes, she plays Ochiko in My Hero,
Futaba.
Futaba in My Hero Academia. She's Hina in The Day Became a God. Very good voice actress. She's also does the main voice in Charlotte and a bunch of other stuff. Very good voice actress. That's basically the only reason I was like, yeah, I'm cool with her yelling and like listening to that. So, that's kind of all I got for it though.
Oh, the girl for Nagisa is Hinata, Tokyo Revengers.
Oh,
I wonder if it's the same. Is it the same studios? Sorry, I'm trying to see because a lot of the time, who does it? Producers, whatever. I gotta click back on this.
I do know I did see that the white-haired one is done by Rei Tachibana, who is Megumin, and
we gotta keep watching this now.
She's also ReZero Amelia and like fucking a bunch of other people.
Also, in episode 1, there's literally a scene where they're both just naked in the bath. I'm like, come on. At least cut down the fan service. I understand what this show is and what people are there to kind of watch it for.
Yeah. Oh, well, to a certain degree, it's just that level of like, yo, if you're going to be trashy, don't like steam up the whole room and make it like,
yeah.
Make
it a little more revealing if you're going to be that.
Yeah.
But one thing,
don't try to draw a line.
One thing I just hate is how okay she is with it. Cause you won't see this in like, listen, I'm not saying if you're dating, fuck you actually. If you're dating 2 girls at the same time, more than likely, you're either like trashy. But we knew some trashy people in high school that 2 girls were okay dating the same guy. I mean, they were pretty trashy people.
I mean, if they are consenting.
Yeah. It's just.
In this case, it feels like Saki's more pressured to do it. So,
yeah. Like I don't get his whole character because he realizes some things that are pretty blatant, but he doesn't realize other things that aren't blatant. Like,
my goal at the end of this.
Also, she spent fucking $500 in a bento box. Yeah. Now I gotta see it.
Yeah. She also skipped 3 months of school to learn how to cook,
work out, clean. Like, Jesus Christ.
The only thing I would hope for this show is at the very end, Saki and
Nagisa.
Yeah, both of them.
I keep saying Nagasi like SC, but Sa.
I don't quite have that.
I hope they get together because she's already admitted she's like, I have these feelings for a woman.
Dump him and then they get together and that's the happy ending. It'd be perfect.
That would be perfect, especially if he like went for someone else.
Yeah, or I don't know, got hit by a
fucking I'm so happy.
Truck coon. I don't give a shit. The dude's worthless.
Yeah, God, it's such a garbage show.
Also, isn't that the dude that does the voice of, like, he's been in so many stuff. Like, literally, I think he's in Your Lie in April and, like, The Day Became a God and all of that.
Dude, The Day Became a God is fucking sad. I'm scrolling through it real quick. He's in JoJo.
Johto. He's literally fucking the main character of in Jujutsu Kaisen.
He's a Dory. What the fuck is wrong with you, dude? Pick one woman. Oh. It's Rengoku's brother.
Yeah, like he's been in so much stuff. Every so often he just chooses really...
He's like, Reiner, what the fuck are you doing? He's not a small voice actor by any means.
No.
Oh, look, he's now selling. Come on, dude.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a bunch of stuff like that where it's like, okay.
It's actually kind of crazy how some shows like last season, man, I just realized I yelled real loud into the mic and I'm going to have to fucking edit that later. Haha, peeking. No, but it's real weird. Like last season, we saw a whole bunch of first-time voice actors, and now this season, we're seeing a lot of like big names. It just seems like we cycle back and forth.
Yeah, but they keep choosing real trashy stuff. Fucking chose to VA.
Yeah, but besides that, listen, man, if you want to watch a trashy show, go ahead.
Yeah.
I ain't gonna stop you. But the other big show, which at first I regretted my pick on this because the animation was kind of meh. But after about 10 minutes, I was like, holy shit. It's Battle Game in 5 Seconds. And I keep wanting to say Battle State Games because Tarkov is Battle State Games. I keep like trying to stop myself. Don't play the game. It's trash. That's me because I hate it. But so we watched episode 1 through 4. And it's weird. So let me scroll down to the characters. So it's still kind of weird because you've only met a few characters. There's really only 3 main characters.
Yeah.
Yeah, Mion, which is the girl that basically kidnaps Akira.
In like everyone.
Fantastic name. Listen, the first time I heard Akira, I was kind of spaced out. I was like, wait, they talk about like Akira, the movie? I know, it's Akira from school. And then Yuri, which I kind of...
Her backstory is bad. Sad.
Yeah, it's super sad. But so basically, it starts out really weird, as in they introduce him as a very good video game player, strategist, and I'm like, oh, so he's gonna suck at school life, but apparently he's really good at school life too.
Yeah, he's
like
just
he's good at everything,
good at memorizing the schoolwork, so he basically gets top marks. But
yeah,
but
he treats everything like a game and a strategy. Like even when this random monster pops out trying to kill him, like this is kind of how it starts, which I think is the test to see if they're worth it or not.
Well, for some, because Yuri
was just straight up murdered.
Yeah,
well, we never saw her hit the ground.
Oh, come on.
Also,
at the very end, we're jumping the gun a little bit. The episode 3 has like basically a team battle thing. There's a fucking dude over in the corner, and that totally has to be the one that like pushed her over the edge.
Did you not watch the...
There's not an episode 4.
Yeah, there is.
It only came out today then.
Oh, I watched it. Do you want me to talk about it then, or are we?
Go to only episode 3.
Oh,
because episode 4 would have been released in the morning or something. Because I didn't watch that. Episode 3, it only came out by then.
You have to talk about episode 3 then, so I don't jump the gun on that then.
All right.
No, but
I'm fairly certain.
So okay, so Akira and then Yuri Yuri is the 2 main characters because you get to see both their backstories basically. You don't see too much of Akira's backstory; you just kind of see how he starts his day, but you see a fuckload of Yuri's backstory. Yeah. Holy shit, is it sad, dude?
Yes. Also, real quick, Akira, what kind of bullshit game doesn't allow you to move up the leaderboard if someone disconnects?
That's what everyone fucking commented. That was like the biggest comment on there. It's like, man, this fucking game developers suck. If they leave the game, you don't move up.
Yeah, that would be the absolute worst game design. Oh, I'm about to lose my rank. Fucking disconnect.
Yeah.
Why?
Hey, keep an eye out for the next video of competitive chess we're putting out.
No, God, no.
But yeah, besides, we regress.
Digress.
How do I said regress? No, but at first, I didn't like the animation. I thought it was pretty bland via eye style, because they do that thing where it's like, one color eye with 3 lines, and it like fades on the outside. But it works later on for how they do it, because you're not getting a shitload of a whole bunch of close-up shots. But basically, they selected a whole bunch of people at random to compete In this, we think it's more of a tournament because they didn't say there's only going to be one leader. They just say people are going to fight each other with these special powers. And basically, their life in the outside world, they're dead. They've been pronounced dead. No one knows they exist here. So any kind of murder or crime that they commit while using these powers that they've been injected with or been given, it doesn't matter. You can commit murder while in the fighting arenas, and it won't matter. And I thought immediately this was going to turn into like, you said you've seen Darwin's Game.
Yeah.
I thought it was going to be something like that, but they only compete against each other in like this context compared to Darwin's Game, which is more out.
Yeah, and specifically like Darwin's Game, the power that you're given, you can basically use any time.
Yeah.
You are heavily restricted with handcuffs that are locked like this, and only when that 5-second timer.
That's why they call it Battle Game in 5 seconds, because you meet up in the arena. Like they walk you to it because you're basically confined to this room, and you have these cuffs on you. And they said when they turn green, that means in 5 seconds the game's going to start and you can fight. So that's why Battle Game in 5 seconds starts in 5. And like the first guy Akira fights is Madoka.
Madoka?
Sorry, I have an angle.
It's more.
It threw me off because I keep thinking Madoka as a Madoka Magica. Which I don't get why he doesn't have a color character design. I don't think this is as popular as some of the other ones.
I mean, it is based off of a manga.
Yeah. So Madoka, he and them fight.
Adaptation link is there.
Yeah. So Akira's special power is illusion. Basically, that can actually do some stuff. He has to set up the illusion ahead of time.
Akira's?
Yeah.
Yeah. Specifically, his ability is like whatever they think it's going to be. So yes, it is an illusion, but like it's an illusion with this extreme condition that they have to like think it's something.
Which works in his favor because he's a really good strategist.
Yeah.
And Madoka's ability is to turn a stick into a sword. And
with a caveat. Well, an extra like thing. Because that's been the big thing lately. Is
they keep throwing the twist in.
Yeah, that they reveal part of it because like in his case, I can turn a stick into a sword.
Yeah,
that like can literally slice through at anything.
And they don't reveal that till episode 3.
Yeah,
when he gets in the fight with a ball girl. I don't know her name. Yeah. I didn't write down any of their names because they all just seem like very secondary characters. Which apparently Ringo is not going to be because she's on this list.
Yeah,
but it was really weird. Like, it's cool because they have this power, but then there's a big twist to it. Like, it's just not an overwhelming power. Like, Yuri's power is she can, her strength is quadrupled, but there's, like, kind of a downside of what was it? Like, it's very hard on her body.
Yeah, which it can be if she's not, like, careful.
And then some people just get fucked over with their power, like that guy that can turn a button into a rope. Which someone in the comment section of Crunchyroll was very adamant about how that is very useful. And I was like, listen, man.
I would be curious, like, in his case, because the guy seemed kind of genuine. But I wonder what, like, if that was only a portion of the power. Like, what if the button could turn into a rope, but the rope could, like, act as, like, a whip or be controlled in some way?
Yeah.
Like,
because you don't know
there's always been those extras.
Because it could have been a thing where, like, you know, Madoka's thing, he can turn a stick into a sword, and then you see later in episode 3 where he can break off part of it and turn that into like a knife. So it's not a full-on sword, it's just basically any bladed object.
Yeah.
So I wonder if it was the button could have turned into a rope, but also could have turned into anything that's like string related. So maybe like a whip or maybe like a steel cable even or something. That'd be heavy as shit.
Yeah, or if he specifically
like there's
could control the rope to a certain degree where it'd be super easy for, like, let's say to hang someone. It would only take like a split second. Like, who knows?
Yeah.
It seems very much that a lot of the abilities are tailored towards like individual strengths.
Yeah.
You know,
even
or like to a certain degree, some of their weaknesses that they can play as the strength. Like Yuri, she's always had a level of like feeling weak and not having control, and now like she
has a lot. Like
she has like the strength to do things.
I think you're right. They've made a point of like tailoring the strengths to theirs. Like even Shin's, his ability is be invincible for 2 seconds is his ability. And then Ringo, which you're going to meet in episode...
No, she was
she was in 3.
Yeah,
I'm trying
because
not
she
to
immediately goes, I surrender. Because she's like, I tried copying his powers and it didn't do anything. And it's like, you didn't copy it at the right time is why.
Yeah. Well, then, like, we still don't know the extent of, like, how many times can you use it. Like, Akira can keep using it. Yuri's been able to use it actually a little bit more. So now it's going to come down to the thing of, like Madoka can use his. So can Shin's be invincible for 2 seconds, but every 2 seconds you have to be like, activate. Because other guy, in episode 3, the one that touches the ground, we don't know his name because he's a very, very minor character. You know, he can only block the shots or nullify someone's power if he's touching the ground. Like, that was part of his thing. Remember that? He was like, oh, because he puts his hands up. It's like, oh, you can only activate your powers when you're touching the ground.
I think that's episode 4.
Sorry. Hey, man. I said to episode 4.
It literally didn't air until today.
Fake news. Also, is Yang that red hair chick?
Yeah, probably.
Oh, wow.
Go to the actual, like...
sorry,
anime.
we're trying to figure out. Well, you saw episode 3 when Rope Dude was fighting...
Rin, you mean?
Rin? Yeah. So
Yeah.
when a Rope Guy's fighting Rin, and it's like, okay, we'll toss a coin, and whoever loses will surrender. And as soon as the coin's coming down, he just gets stabbed a shitload of times per. Just like, I didn't want to take the chance.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he should have seen that coming, because they've said murder is legal. Also...
He said, like, kill them if they have the chance.
Yeah. Also, we'll try and sum it up real quick. Yuri's backstory, I want to talk about that because that's the real interesting thing. She's had a dark backstory because, like, everything's up to luck with her. What does she specifically say?
Yeah, it's like
she always gets bad
random happenstance, basically.
Yeah. And everything that random happens is just terrible. Like, as a kid, her mother said, oh, I wish... You know, like, if I would have randomly had you,
dad,
dad
ruined
ran off.
life, like dad left.
Yeah, like the mother blames her daughter. Pretty basic for anime, main character girl kind of stuff. And then, like, when she tries to pet that dog, gets mad. Yeah, gets mad at her. And then, like, when she meets that guy that turns out to be a pervert and a stalker, then starts stalking her, and she's like, screw this random chance bullshit, because she's always getting this, short end of it. And then it leads her to the big reason why she actually wants to make it out of this competition, which it seems like every few episodes they reveal why someone wants to. Yuri's mother is dating some other dude that also has
absolute piece of shit.
Yeah, think about a fat bastard in a hentai. That's what he looks like.
Oh, I mean, the
ugly bastard.
No, that's the guy that she fucking beat the shit out of.
The other guy was also ill.
Yeah,
but besides that. Then you find out, like, this guy also has a daughter, and basically her mother and that other guy she's dating have just, like, basically thrown away both their kids, and they're just like, you take care of her while we're going to do whatever. And then Yuri starts to develop this relationship with this kid, which I don't remember her name.
Minato?
Maybe that's what it is. If you fill, I'll figure it out.
Yeah, it's. I think it's that. But like they've developed like a little bit of a relationship, and even the first time that
I don't have it written down.
Yeah.
Like
they like sleep kind of like in the same room. They bathe together and
even eating.
Yeah, the kid hadn't eaten all day. Like no one's been there since they left.
But you can tell that
morning.
Kid like is basically being starved, neglected. Obviously, they build up this thing of this is a sister relationship. Is not what it feels like.
And when they go to take a bath, there's a lot of fog over it, which was partially because little girl kind of thing.
Yeah.
But people are speculating, and it's very easy to like
scars
tell that there's bruises there. Like
because they focus on the back, and that's when she has like that oh my god situation.
Yeah.
So it's a kind of cool thing where like I don't really care if anybody else lives. Fuck him, but as long as Yuri lives, because it's like she needs to save that other little girl. But then the other big thing I want to point out is she gets a real big short in this stick because she like gets in a fight with this other dude in this big. When I said
That
ugly
man takes
bastard,
his pants off.
yeah, it is ugly bastard, and you get a full on like ass shot of him. Like he takes his pants off. His power is I can smell people's condition. He's like, you're a virgin. It's like, whoa, why is this in here? Like, and then he basically proceeds to. Also, that dude's real fucked up because he even have like a whole scene where like he's hiring like underage prostitutes, and like the prostitute tries to blackmail him for.
And he murders her.
Yeah, for $2,000. He's like, I'm not that happy. She's like, oh, and then he just murders her. Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is like super. Like, there's scenes in the show where, like, when they're in the room when they're about to fight as a team, it's like, oh, we're gonna joke about stuff and be friends. Like, oh, kind of cool. It's that same thing as Peach Boy Riverside. Real serious 1 second, next second not. Also, she's a badass. She literally just like crushes his arm.
Yeah.
And I was like looking this up. I'm like, she would have to have been really strong to begin with because quadrupling the power, it's like, that's a lot.
I think specifically one of the things that may affect, because like I said, there's always been some like level of like other like aspect. Maybe there's even like other, depending on the individual, like in her case, a second underlining aspect of like, let's say adrenaline and rage. Because naturally, like,
Yeah.
during that, it's proven that you could lift things and you can like do stuff like that if your adrenaline is high enough that you 100% shouldn't. And there's a good chance that like the adrenaline and rage and stuff like that heightens that even more, which is why she was able to crush the arm, which would make sense.
Yeah, I think I don't know how they're going to play this out because they make because basically the big squad now of people you're supposed to really like is Akira, Yuri, Shin, and Madoka because they're in a squad together and basically they want to survive from that. Also, after they win the team battle, they're like, I'm sorry.
He's so bad at this.
I stopped. I won't say what happens.
Well, I now know that they win.
I never said who won. Because when you end episode...
you literally just started with characters on a team and then said when they win.
Listen, man. Let's just say when you watch the next episode, it gets really weird again. They go from the whole series to like very joking. It's like...
Okay.
I don't like when shows do that. Konosuba does a great job of that where it's always like hilarious. Even when they try and get serious, it's still hilarious serious. But then like Peach Boy Riverside in this is like
I wonder
funny,
if
serious.
They're specifically kind of trying to do something like that because some of the material that is being like put in front of you is pretty dark. So they're like trying not to make it like as dark. That would be like my core assumption with that.
Wow. Also, speaking of score, really quick before we end, apparently Kobayashi and Slime have the same rating right now, 8.43, which makes sense. Also, Love Live Superstar 8.0.
Yeah, people love their Love Live. All right,
that's all we got. Next week, which we're technically recording that one today, you'll get to hear stories about
Anime Iowa.
We're going to show off stuff we bought. So for the audio only listeners, if you check out YouTube channel, ExAnime, we should actually be one of the first things that popped up. Because I've looked it up on other computers that have never looked it up. And we're like the first thing that's starting to pop up now. So look up ExAnime on YouTube. You should see it. I think it's linked in our bio, right? On whatever you're watching it in right now.
Yeah.
So check that out and you get to see us beautiful faces.
Yep. I hope you enjoyed. We'll see you guys next time.
Thanks for still here.